town of Mission San Luis Rey de Francia. This mission has a rich history, some of which I'd like to share with you today.
Mission San Luis Rey de Francia was founded in 1798, but its story began in 1521. Hernán Cortés was a Spanish noble and explorer. He took over the Aztec Empire and declared it to Spain in 1521. Unfortunately, no one knew that he claimed the land as Spanish territory. For about 250 years afterwards, the Native Americans carried on with their own life and culture. They lived in wigwams, hunted and gathered for their food, wore little to no clothing, and spoke Tukik. Their lives were dramatically changed in the late 1700s when the first friars arrived and began to convert the land and people. The mission was built by the friars and the Native Americans who became their neophytes. There were 3 different types of people at the mission. They were the friars, the neophytes, and the soldiers. Everybody had a different task. Friars taught the neophytes about Christianity. Neophytes worked in the workshops and tended to the land outside. The soldiers helped protect the mission and rested during the wars for the land. Generally, every day at the mission was the same. They would eat a corn soup called atole for breakfast and a beef stew called pozole for lunch. They would learn about Christianity and their new way of life, as well as do many chores between meals. The day ended with prayer, pozole for dinner, and finally, free time in which they could do anything they wanted except practice their old religion. After being founded by Friar Firmin Lasuen, Friar Peyri was chosen to replace him. Everyone loved Peyri because he was kind and never forced the neophytes to do their task. He asked and they followed. During the Mexican War of Independence and the secularization of the mission, Friar Peyri had to return to his home in Europe. The thought of losing their beloved friar was so upsetting that the neophytes tried to prevent him from leaving. He attempted to sneak out at night, but when the neophytes found out, 500 of them rode after him on horses to beg him not to leave. They arrived on the coast where Peyri was already on his ship. They could not stop him. Many of the neophytes jumped in the water and swam after the boat. Peyri blessed them repeatedly as he sailed away. The neophytes mourned their loss. They treasured his belongings, which can be seen at the Mission Museum. The mission had many rooms and areas for its inhabitants. The church had holy water, a confession box, and a pulpit for speaking to a large audience. There were plants and vegetables grown in the courtyard, and artwork on the walls of important religious figures, as well as scenes depicting the new life of the neophytes. Outside, there were farms and orchards, as well as the largest population of animals of all the missions, with a herd of nearly 60,000 at its peak. Hundreds of thousands of people travel to see the mission San Luis Rey every year. The historical legacy of this mission make it a favorite to its many visitors. At its peak, it was home to 3,000 people, 3 times the mission average, making it the most successful mission. Today, it is a tourist attraction, a popular location for filming movies, and the church is still in use daily by friars that still live there.